everyone. My name is Andrzej Czerniawski and here is Lawrence Freeborn. We are from IDC Financial Insights EMEA, and today we're going to talk about cloud in banking.
So Andrzej, have European banks been adopting cloud computing?
They have, but the actual adoption is pretty slow. There are so many business areas where cloud can be used in banking. At IDC we define about 15. And overall, banks have been experimenting with cloud, and I would say that the vast majority have tried using cloud in some of the business areas. But for each and single one of them, the average across Europe remains pretty low. It's about 15%. And I think we clearly see higher adoption rates for the so-called non-mission critical areas. It's things like placing ERP modules in the cloud, office tools and collaborations, potentially using cloud providers for intensive data calculations. The areas that do not necessarily have a significant impact on brand and customers.
Okay, so how about mission critical areas? What are we seeing there?
Well, we see significantly lower adoption rates, about 10% on average across Europe. And when we speak about mission critical areas, we mean things like a product and customer database in the cloud, other things like business intelligence and analytics, security as a service, and a very important website, web hosting. It hasn't been as prolific as with non-mission critical, primarily because of security. I think there are still major concerns as to what level of security public cloud providers can deliver to banks, and banks essentially are trying to shield their sensitive areas and potentially look around and wait for a more kind of mass adoption.
Okay. So it seems like adoption rates are still low, albeit growing. Are there any outstanding examples of major cloud implementations that you point to?
Yeah, there are some interesting projects. One of them is as a new challenger bank in the UK called Hamden & Co. It is launching off Oracle's data center, and essentially the whole bank will be run by the vendor, by the IT provider. It's something completely new, very innovative. I think this gives the bank an opportunity to scale up and down depending on business performance, and this is definitely the model that many banks would like to adopt in the future. But for now, there's been very few cases of this kind of innovation, and I think perhaps it's not just security that is playing a big role. I think regulation is kind of affecting adoption in this area.
Yes, thank you, Andrzej. So on the back of this survey, I went away and looked at this issue of regulation to try and understand if there's a causation here between that and the take-up of cloud computing in banks. And I think the answer is definitely yes. There's definitely a link there, because there seems to be quite a lot of misunderstanding, maybe even some misinformation in the banking industry, in the legal industry, about regulation of cloud computing in Europe. And it's very decentralized. There's not one tome, one direction which you can look to understand this.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Lawrence. Thank you very much for listening. If you would like to get more information about cloud adoption in Europe or regulation, please visit idc.com. Thank you.